So I just realized that in my first video about my 1977 GMC Motorhome Kingsley, I didn't show a picture of it. So I'm going to start this video off with a picture of the motorhome. Here it is. And then we'll continue to taking off components of the motor so we can take the motor out and have it rebuilt. Thank you. We are officially in Mississippi shutdown. We'll be able to spend a little bit more time on the camper. And right now my wife is wanting to go fishing, but I told her I need to get the starter motor off before we can do that. And since going fishing is essential travel, we'll be going fishing. So the starter motor is on the passenger side behind this oil pump. It's right there. It's really not hard to get to. A couple bolts should have it pulled out. Pull off the wire from the battery. Shouldn't take very long, which means I'll be out here for 2 hours. So the reality is I need to remove this oil filter before I take this off. And I've tried to turn it a couple times with my hand, and whoever put it on has got a gorilla death grip. So it might take me a minute. So it's another day and I'm under the camper today. I'm getting back at it, trying to remove this starter. And first thing I really need to do is get this oil filter off. I tried yesterday and I couldn't get it, so I'm getting after it a little bit harder today. So the oil filter wrench that I have is not big enough, and I didn't feel like I wanted to get another one. So I'm just using the old bear claws. Alright, now that's out of the way, and I should be able to get to the starter a little bit better. Alright, so there's the starter. A little dirty. Probably still got another 40 years on it though. I had to cut this back. I mean the main power to the solenoid from the battery because it was spinning this nut. And I got to figure out how to get that off. But I'll do that shortly, and I can just re-crimp a new connector on there. Anyway, that's the starter. Since I'm already under here by the starter motor, I'm going to go ahead and take this oil filter housing off, and should come off. It just looks like 2 bolts, so we'll get that off and move on to the next step. So when I pulled that oil filter housing off, this came out, so I need to make sure this little gasket stays with us. So I'll label it and put it in a baggie and put it in my little stash over here with other little baggies of stash bolts. So the next couple steps are pretty simple. Drain the oil, drain the water, and disconnect the hoses, and drain the block using the two drain plugs. When I find those, I'll do a video on those and show you where they are. The next thing we'll be doing is taking off the carburetor. We got it labeled, some of the vacuum hoses, but I'll have to go through here and label some more. I'm also just going to make a good video of it to where I can see what went where. We got some of these brackets over here that I'll have to take off and put back on. So, like this one has 2 bolts, 1 and 2. And some of these are speed controls and cruise controls and whatnot. So we'll just take a good look at it, and when we try to reassemble it, as much as we can. Man, my dog likes to bark. Alright, so there's these 2 bolt holes, one here and one here. Here's the 2 bolts. They're on this bracket back here. And they had this wire, it looked like somebody made this wire, looped it around this bolt, and had it hooked on something right there. It was hooked on that for whatever reason. So, probably need to think about that later. Here is the carburetor. It was not easy to get out. As you can see, it is out. But this, where the fuel line comes in, somebody has misthreaded this nut right here. So now I got to figure out how to get this piece off and get a new fuel line going into the carburetor itself. What I had to do is basically pick it up and hand twist it off. Just twist the whole carburetor right off of this nut. But I got it, and you can see down into the manifold there. On to the thermostat. So I just did something. I rolled the carpet back, and then I realized I have a lot more space to work with. And you can see the motor a lot better next. The alternator and air compressor and all the miscellaneous hoses and whatnot. So now we're going to go into the thermostat, which is right there, and we're going to take that baby out and that hose. Alright, so I got the hose off. Now I'm getting these bolts out of the housing. And I don't think it's going to be as easily as I hoped it would, like anything else. Oh yeah. The hose going into the water pump, into the thermostat, which has got 2 hoses that go to the onboard water heater to heat your water while you're driving. So I'm going to try to figure out how to get this off real quick. This looks like somebody's done some modifications to it. How's that look? Rip that baby right apart. Because I'm freaking strong. It's probably a good indication I need to replace some of these hoses. Now, check out the thermostat. Isn't she a beaut? see. Oh yeah. That sounds not too bad. Got a little corrosion on the gasketing, but I guess it worked. I'm gonna kill them dogs. So the RV is a little bit out of the dog's range on their wireless fence. This is where the RV is parked, and their collars are right there. So that's about as far as they can make it. You see them. So if they want to come in, I gotta take the collars off and carry them in here. And they sit and they be good. Isn't that right, doggies? Camille. Yeah. And Harry. Be quiet in here. Alright, so now I'm gonna take a break from the camper. Got the thermostat and carburetor removed and the starter removed today, so I feel like it's a pretty good day. Got my sidekicks with me. Harry, Camille, Camille. There you are. So with that, today will end and I will start putting this video together.